What's up, everybody? I'm Nick. This is Michael. You're listening to Walk-Ins Welcome. We're glad to have you on another episode, 102, sitting on a Wednesday, chilling out at the office. It's quiet around here, and we're about to talk about unicorns.
Unicorns?
Yeah. And every time I say unicorn, you're going to hear a beautiful sound. Let's try this together on the count of three. 1, 2, 3, unicorn. There you go. All right. So
we're having fun today because
are.
This topic is something we hear about more often than we need to. But finding the unicorn, and what kind of unicorn this is?
The digital marketing manager for your company.
What does that mean?
Well, I've got 20 bullet points here right now on what the world says a good digital marketing manager should be for your company. All right, why are we even asking the question in the first place? A lot of times as a digital marketing agency, we run up to a couple of objections. All right. Mm-hmm. One objection is we don't have money for it. And that's fine. We get that. We're going to do it on ourselves. We're going to keep it in-house. We're going to do our own thing.
Don't have budgets.
Yeah, we don't have budgets for it, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, okay, well, we're going to outsource that. That's where the digital marketing agency comes in.
We are an outsource.
We are an outsourced digital marketing manager, if you will. Yep. And we deliver on all of that. And then typically the third is we're going to bring it in-house, and we're going to have a digital marketing manager, and they're going to do all the things that you do.
Right.
So I wanted to bring this up because the question, we're in lots of Facebook groups for digital marketing agencies, and a lot of times we just call those people unicorns. They don't exist.
They think they
do.
Even in our own agency world, we have unicorns that are supposed to, like, so as an agency, what do we offer? SEO, paid ads, social media, website, right?
All the things.
Review requests. Even inside our world, we don't have a unicorn that does SEO and Google ads at the same time well. Like, we even, to a degree, have a level of differentiation on SEO, where, like, anyway, the unicorn, though, is something where people just make this assumption, right? Like, I can make an assumption. You're a doctor. You can fix me. No, I'm a so-and-so doctor that only works on elbows.
Oh, so I love that. I'm dealing with that in personal life, not for me, but just family members, where you have a neurosurgeon, you have a brain, like, that's your brain. You have a heart surgeon.
Yeah.
You have a specialist, like, what is a podiatrist for your feet.
Right.
Like, they specialize in these areas. And then you have a general practitioner, right?
Yep.
That's when you go to your family physician. And what do they do, though? Michael, what does every family doctor do when they run into a foot issue?
They're going to refer you
to where?
A podiatrist.
A specialist.
Yeah, right.
A specialist, right? So that's the point I was trying to make is the people who are filling out these resumes
on
YouTube.
Paper.
Yeah, for YouTube. Like, we've got papers, right? The people who are saying on their resume that they can do all 20 of these things and they can do it with some level of excellence, they're lying to you. I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah.
Like, literally, my company's called Nick the Marketer, and I can't do all these things.
No, you have people,
right?
To do
yeah,
these
we
things.
have people for this. We have specialists.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's kind of like, you know, for the doctors that listen, we know there's a couple of you guys that listen to our doctors on this podcast. And here's the thing. You're safe to say, like, if you went to go apply for a job and they said, you need to learn how to, I need this person to do brain surgery. I need them to be able to set bones. I need them to be able to go in and do heart transplants, and they're like, no one can do that.
Deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, so right, like
things,
no one can
right?
do all those things. And there's a reason, like, when, like, my mom had some health issues come up, she has 3 dedicated doctors to her right now for that revolves around one health issue. And that's just and that's fine. That's the way it should be. I don't want to put 100% trust into one person to do all these things, and that's for health, but because we know we're a healthcare related podcast. When it comes to the marketing, there's so many, like, just digital marketing. There's so many layers to it. I can say this.
Let's just read off 1 through 20. Go for it.
All right,
kill it.
So this is according to what, like you said, what the world says, what they expect a digital marketing manager to do well at skills wise.
These are in legitimate job descriptions from companies that want a digital marketing manager.
Yeah.
Go.
Number 1, digital marketing strategy. Number 2, content marketing. Number 3, SEO. Number 4, paid advertisement. Number 5, email marketing. Number 6, social media management. Number 7, data analytics. Number 8, conversion rate optimization. Number 9, marketing automation. Number 10, budget management. Number 11, market research. Number 12, project management. Number 13, creative skills. Number 14, communication. Number 15, adaptability. Number 16, compliance and ethics. Number 17, leadership and team management. Number 18, ROI analysis. Number 19, customer relationship management, CRM, right? And number 20, tech savviness. Honestly, tech savviness should be number 1 because if you're in digital marketing, you have to be comfortable with tech.
I think we need to redefine this to a degree. Here's what a digital marketing manager should be good at.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Yep.
Analytics. Market research.
Budget. I would say project management to a degree.
We can, yes, to a degree. I think you have people for that. We do. Mm-hmm. Communication.
Leadership.
Yeah, leadership. So of these 20 things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, and they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle in at least 1 or 2 of those areas. Everything else on this list, there is no way for them, in my opinion, in my humble but accurate opinion, first Nick, second opinion, there's no way they can be excellent in every single one of these categories. It's just not plausible or possible.
No,
that's the unicorn that everybody wants to hire. That's the unicorn, but that's what I'm talking about. There you go. I love that noise. So I'm bringing this up for a few reasons on our episode today. We've recently come in to some businesses that have wanted to bring their marketing in-house. And you know what? We are not mad for our clients.
Not just recently, but consistently. For the life of our agency, we always hit a moment with certain clients.
Yes.
And it makes sense. Like in there,
we grow them to a size.
Yeah. And it's consistent, right? Like they get to a point where like we want to consider going in-house now, and we're going to attempt that.
Right.
And then that usually ends up with we get a brand new contact.
That's what I was going to go with.
Yeah. We get a brand new contact and all of a sudden, and this happened enough now where the last time this happened to me like when I was managing accounts, new contact came in and I said, and she said, I want to meet just to get to know our vendors and stuff. Like, okay. So we meet and I say, look, I'll be completely honest. Every single time we get a new contact, the client cans us. Oh, I'm not going to do this. Like, no, you probably will. Like, no, I like you guys. 1 month later.
30 days later.
Oh, we got a proposal we really liked and we don't want you guys to bid on it. Bye. And I'm like,
right.
And what it boils down to, nothing against that person, but what it boils down to is...
I have questions, but we'll talk about that. You may not have anything against
We were not your decision. We were the previous person you replaced's decision, and so you don't like us anymore.
There's that piece of it, and I'm okay with that part, right? Yeah. That's my bigger overarching concern with the marketing manager is that they act like they know how to do all these things.
Now, let's be careful. There are some that do know a lot of good things and know where they don't need to step their toes in.
But they're not the ones acting like they can do all these things though.
Right.
They are the ones who are strategy, analytics, budget management, market research, communication, and leadership and team management.
Yep.
I'd like to note that second one, or on number 17 here, leadership and what?
Team.
And what?
Team.
And what?
Team.
More than one person.
Oh yeah.
A team is not a one-person show. All right. And this is what I'm trying to help our urgent care clinics, our patient care clinics, chiropractors, all of you folks that are listening to us now that want to have a in-house marketing manager, which is fine. You need to understand that they're not going to be able to do all 20 of these things. They're just not going to be able to do it. And
I honestly think so. The ones that we have dealt with that were actually like marketing managers was their title. They treated us like a team member,
right? And
we were taking care of a piece of the pie for them.
We were delivering on their Google ads. We were delivering on their social media posting and marketing and running ads. We were delivering on their search engine optimization. We are a vendor for their website. All of that's great. Mm-hmm. They weren't pretending that they were the expert in that area. They lived in the strategy or the analytics or the budget.
Yeah. So and so like we weren't the only piece of that too, right? So like that client had us for digital. Mm-hmm. They had somebody else for billboard, somebody else for radio. And then what they were really doing is managing the budget and the strategy behind it, because who do they answer to? Their boss, who typically is the owner of the company, and they're looking for, did we have an increase in bottom line? At the end of the day, are you worth the value of? Because what it boils down to, it's more. We've had better experiences overall when we have somebody come to us and say, "This is what I have. This is our goal. We're doing these things, but we need this done, and you guys look like the best fit for us, and we're going to roll with it that way. And here's our budgets, and here's my expectation. But I will give you whatever I can to make you successful."
Right.
That's ideal world, right? But when we run into we have a marketing person says, I'm looking at doing SEO stuff, but I think I can do it myself, or I'm going to run my own ads and y'all do that. And then it becomes, we've had a lot of situations where we're doing all the things and the marketing person's like, I'm going to take on ads now just to try. And then we had one actually come back to say, can you fix this for me in ads? Like, actually I can't. I don't have access to your ads because you fired us.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly. That's been an adventure.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk about this then. Okay, so one person says they can come in and do all this. What does that look like for us, right? So digital marketing strategy for patient care marketing pros, I do our strategy.
Generally, yeah.
I still manage our strategy for our clients. Like I sit down, I look at the strategy, I look at the results. I'm saying, hey, let's try this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Content marketing, Harry and his team do our content marketing.
Yeah.
All right, so they're writing content, they're putting it on our websites for our clients, and then building our outreach. That's Harry. Search engine optimization, Brad and Izzy do that.
Yep.
I've got people for that.
Multiple.
And they work with our content marketing team.
Yep.
Right? So,
and we brought on Ethan recently.
Ethan is working with us. Very good. Paid advertising.
We have a slew of people.
We have a bunch of people that do that, right? So you manage that directly at the moment.
We got Colin and Jordan and Jenna.
That's right. That's right. Email marketing. Okay. In full disclosure, we don't do this. So
we acknowledge we're not good at it.
We can't do it well, so we don't do it. Right?
Because we get that question pretty often. Do y'all do email marketing? No.
The problem is I can do it well, Michael. The problem is I don't know how to teach it. You know what I mean? And I've done very, very well with clients that are no longer with us because I was unable to hand that part of the business off to somebody so I could do higher level thinking and strategy because I didn't need to be a part of the production team.
Also didn't pay well.
It does not pay well. That's another story. Social media management. Alyssa does that for us, right?
Yep.
She also does some of our paid advertising on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. Data analytics. Client success managers are studying our analytics all the time. So we have Devin, we have Grace,
and they're catching things and
Right.
bringing things to the table and helping with strategy based on the data. So it's like there's layers to this. Like we didn't just make this up. Like
That's right.
It's so funny because when they're naming off all these things, we can basically attach one of our team members to almost every item.
And that's where I was going to go is do every single one of these.
Yep.
Right. And I don't have to, but here's the point I'm trying to make. If you hired me as your marketing manager, I would not be able to do every one of these things. There's nobody that I've ever seen that's a unicorn that can do all of these things well. I'm not trying to discourage you from having a marketing manager. Here's what I'm trying to do.
Setting the expectation.
It's been our experience that when we get replaced by a marketing manager, unfortunately, our business owner thinks that marketing manager is going to be able to do everything that we do. Mm-hmm. Think about that for a second.
And then what typically
How
happens?
many salaries are we paying to make sure that we can do this level of work for you?
Well, and then what happens? So, because I've seen this full circle where new marketing manager was hired, we were let go, and then they were supposed to do everything. I randomly get a question from the marketing manager. What do you think about this? And I'll give maybe.
After about the 20th question, though.
Yeah, we have one, and every 6 months I get a question from her. I'm happy to answer it because I really just don't care. Here.
I don't even know who that is, but that's
I'm it's we try this. What do you think? Try that, and then don't hear for 6 months.
Right.
And so, but anyway, get rid of us. Hired somebody internal to do everything. 3 to 6 months later, they're trying to find one of us, another agency, to fill the gap. And the marketing manager's still there. Whereas basically she's mostly he or she's saying, I need help with this. I need a budget for it. And then the owner's forgotten oh, I now pay your salary and an agency's budget.
Right.
So that's the thing. We're not saying don't do it, because I do think there's a disconnect when you're running, because there's think we're a digital agency. We don't do radio. We don't do print, billboards, anything like that. And so, or TV. So we don't communicate with the other vendors, right? Like very rarely do we communicate, and we're competitors per se. And so we're never going to have that nice little like communication hub with them. But your internal marketing manager could, where like, here's the overarching strategy. Here's what our brand is supposed to be. Here's our overall goals. And then plugging in the people, that's what you're paying for.
Correct.
At the end of the day, like you're not paying for that person to sit down and bang out social posts all day, like, because you're just wasting your money at that point, because they're worth more than just doing some of that work.
I'll tell you exactly what it's worth. $700 a month.
Right.
I'm serious though.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
And we actually get lots of compliments on our social media posting that Alyssa does. She does really good work. But that's what it's worth, y'all. It's not worth a full-time salary. I'm sorry to tell you that.
But we all know too, like the high-end hires you make are the ones that aren't necessarily doing the work. They're making the strategy happen.
I'm going to give you another secret. The high-end people that you think are out there, they work for us.
Yeah.
We attract the high-end people.
Yep.
Right. So, and I'm not saying, okay, God, that sounds awful now that I think about it, because there's some marketing managers out there that are absolute studs. The point.
Wait.
Yep.
Unicorns.
That they're not unicorns. I promise you. They're not. But what I mean by that is they're excellent communicators. They know how to organize people. They know how to get the right vendor in to deliver on these things. Like they can go out and find the best of the best. What I'm addressing today, from the unicorn perspective, what I'm addressing today is that the people that say they can do all 20 of these things and execute for you doesn't exist.
Yeah. So if you're going to sum up this episode, it's lower your expectation or readjust your expectation.
Yeah, that.
And then if you have somebody coming to you and say, I can do all your digital for you, no questions asked, and you're going to love me, you completely question that person because it doesn't sound accurate at all. We even had somebody once, we weren't able to do it, but we even had somebody try to hire us to hire a internal person. Yeah,
that was MedHelp. And I don't even mind dropping their name because I understand why they were doing it. Actually, they have a good reason, right? So I think there's reasons to bring on a marketing manager.
Yep.
If your urgent care clinic, your patient care practice is at a point where you, the person in charge, no longer need to be involved in the marketing standpoint. Like somebody else needs to be doing that because it's
the marketing decisions. Yeah.
It's now keeping you from doing what you do best.
Yep.
That's where you hire a marketing manager to facilitate that relationship with us and you.
Yep.
Right. Or your team of people. If you're big enough, like MedHelp, for example, MedHelp's a great company.
Full disclosure, we do not work for them.
Yeah, they're not a client of ours. The point I'm making there, though, is like that's a massive company. Fast Paced would be another one. Massive company.
Yep.
You need a whole team of people in-house. That's where it starts making sense because they're 100% dedicated to your brand and vision and mission and values. And then you have a marketing manager that's facilitating your teams. Okay? Totally different than somebody who comes in and says that they can do all of these things. So there is a place for a marketing manager. For our marketing managers listening, we do love you. That's not what we're talking about.
Yep.
I expect if you're listening to us, it's because you're trying to get better at these things and finding the right kind of people who can do these in your organization.
Or at least,
congrats to you.
And at the end of the day, a good marketing manager can also recognize bad work.
Correct.
Because whether we like it or not, our industry is chock full of smoke and mirrors.
Correct.
To an unhealthy amount. Like one of our things, like our selling points is what we do is that we're fully transparent and we make sure your ad spend is spent directly on the platform.
Right.
Which sounds, well, duh. No, actually, most of your agents, here's a fair warning. If you're going to go hire an agency, I know we're talking about hiring market managers or unicorns. If they just give you a lump price that includes ad spend, please don't.
I'll give you an example of what that looks like. So I'm more focused on getting you a total result versus our ROI. What is the difference in that? Okay. So Michael, you as a urgent care come in.
Dr. Ray.
Dr. Ray's in the house, right? Dr. Ray needs to get 20 new patients a day.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I was able to do that. Once I get you to 20 patients a day, I'm going to pocket the rest of the money. Right. Versus the total result is if I can get you 20, but I can get you another 12 with the budget that you've allocated to me, I'm not going to pocket your ad spend to make a bigger profit.
Yep.
I'm going to get you the 32 patients instead of the 20.
Yep.
That's a total result versus an ROI. And that's been our approach as a marketing agency is here's our fee. You're paying us to do a job. And then we're going to take that and we're going to, what is it? Conversion rate optimization that's on here,
Yeah.
right? We're going to do a conversion rate optimization to get you a total result and a total return on investment, not just what we agreed upon at 20 patients.
Yeah. And if you're curious, am I stuck in that right now or not? Go to whoever you've hired and say, can you send me the last 3 months of receipts from Facebook or Google Ads or whatever platform they told you?
Michael, we don't really do that.
We can't give you that because it's in our account. Yes, they can.
Yeah, it's broken down by account.
Yeah.
That's not the point, and I'm not trying to throw other agencies under the bus. Okay,
But we're trying to give you good info.
Yeah.
Like, this is real.
You have to be able to make good decisions with the people that you put in place. Now we're deviating a little bit away from the episode, and I don't want to do that. The whole point is there's reasons that you step away from working with an agency or bringing it in-house. The first reason, money. You don't want to spend the money on an agency, and you're just going to do it yourself. Eventually, you're going to hit a brick wall.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I can't see these patients and do all these posts and run these ads and do all of this, and I'm doing a mediocre job at best.
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire an agency. Agency's going to come in and they're really going to help you grow. Even crappy ones are going to help to a degree, right? So they're going to help you grow. They're going to deliver on the expectations that you agreed on in the original proposals.
Yep.
So we call that scope of work.
Yep.
So they're going to deliver on the scope of work. I think you should not be doing business with 30 urgent cares. You should just be doing it with our urgent care. I know feasibly you can't do that. So we're going to bring that in-house. Okay. Okay. So you bring it in-house and you find a unicorn that turns out to be a donkey with something stapled to its forehead. Right. So you bring in a marketing person, and what you start seeing is all of your stuff rolling back. And here's the problem with that. It's costing you more money because now you're paying a salary, benefits.
And then you have that, I don't want to say pride, but you have that, I'm an owner that made that decision and I see the negative result, but I'm not going to fire that person because I'm going to live with it.
Right.
And then living with it ends up being, hey, marketing person, how much is it going to cost to get an agency in here to do some of this work for us?
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're back in that cycle again. So you have to be careful because we do see that quite a bit. So
if there's an agency that you're working with and they're crappy, I absolutely think that you should fire them. Okay. Like I would even say that about us. We fired ourselves for work that we haven't been able to do exceptionally well.
yeah,
Right. So
it's
we
a
can
thing.
see that.
Like we see it. It's
So
a thing.
what is the proper transition to a marketing manager? Well, we talked about it briefly, but let me just kind of bridge the gap here. And then Michael, you can put a bow on this. All right. So what the proper transition is I've started up and I've been doing it myself. I need help. So I'm going to bring in a marketing agency or somebody that is experts at this that doesn't work for my company, but they know what they're doing.
But it gives me my time
Yeah,
back.
that's right. They give me my time back. Well, me, the patient care marketing pro, you, the doctor, are bridging this gap and having regular communication on the results. Well, now even that communication is becoming cumbersome because you've grown. You're a bigger clinic now.
Yeah,
and now you.
And another indicator is like the agency say, hey, doctor, I need this or I need that and I need this and I need that. And you're like, I'll get to it 2 months later. They're asking the same question again. Like that's a good simple indicator.
So this is where a marketing manager is the right call, where you're like, I'm not able to get the marketing agency what they need. They're not doing a bad job, but I can't get them what they need. They're doing good work. We're growing. I need to bring in a marketing person who is on our side and has our company's best interests at heart, which so do we. Okay, but not every agency is like that. But they have our best interests at heart. And they're going to help facilitate the communications, the needs, the deliverables, and they're going to give that agency what they need or whoever they bring in as a vendor, right? But they understand what we're trying to accomplish and they have enough knowledge to understand what the agencies are trying to accomplish and they're able to bridge that gap. They're just removing that from your plate. And you hire for that.
Yep.
That's okay. We're good with that.
Yep.
Right? Well, I'll even lose an account if that's the right decision for your company because you brought in somebody to facilitate that and they did their due diligence on your behalf and found another agency that better meshed with you.
Yep.
That's fine. But they're not pretending to be something that they're not.
Yep.
Right? That's the place where a marketing manager makes sense.
And I'll say this too: if you make the hire and you're not sure if it's going well or not, obviously the easiest way is look at your bottom line. Did you have an increase or decrease, or is it stagnant? Is it staying the same? And then also, it's an encouragement here where if you're letting go of the agencies and you're bringing on that person, blah, 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 get some reporting before you leave the agency. And, something I need all the reporting on everything. So you have a baseline to look at, right? And because the reporting your marketing manager is going to provide is not going to be the same thing, just isn't. Everybody's different. But it allows you to kind of see, this is where we were when we cut them off. Did you help us get better, marketing manager, or did you make it worse? If you made it worse, what do we need to do to correct it? Because that's the biggest thing we see. A lot of business owners, they'll take their finger off the pulse once they've made that hire. And then 6 months later, because marketing takes time, right? And then 6 months later, man, our sales have gone down. What's happening? And then now it takes another 3 to 6 months to kind of get back to where you were.
Quick story, and then we'll wrap up. We had a client recently who brought in a marketing manager. And we had been doing everything, I would even say really, really well. We were doing our work. The challenge is they had gotten so busy as a company that they were not responding to our messages. They were not responding to our approvals. They weren't allowing us to put content on the website. They weren't approving it. It's not that they weren't saying yes or no. They were just not saying anything.
Yeah, no response.
Right. And this went on for a long, long time.
Long time.
They knew there was a problem, and they knew that the problem wasn't us. Okay, they just knew that there was a problem. So they brought in a marketing person in-house. And that marketing person said the funniest thing to me. She said, I'm really concerned about us paying you this money for the SEO work. And I'm like, you don't have a full picture. You weren't here for all the messages that we've sent trying to get approvals done. All you see is a lack of something, not all the effort that was put into it. Mm-hmm. So you have to be aware of that whenever you're making this transition to an in-house person, that they're not going to have the complete picture. And that agency may not have done a bad job. You may have been in transition and been so busy to get the approvals done. You may have had something that fell through the crack, and they may have done a crappy job too. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah, true.
Okay. But I just wanted to give that example because that's a real world situation where we got ousted, if you will.
Yep.
And it's okay. We're fine with that.
Move on.
Yeah. We moved on. It's definitely not the rule; it's the exception. But it was just very interesting for me to watch that communication go in such a way that made us feel like we weren't doing our job when we were very on top of it. Very on top of it.
Well, and we had the warning sign. Our number one warning sign: we have a new contact, and it just typically goes downhill.
Correct.
The other warning signs were the marketing person was asking us, "How do you do these things?" It was that, and then was.
Mad at us for not telling her how we do it. And
then also mad at us that we weren't accepting her invites to her project management software because we can't do that. We're just not going to do that. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the other part too. You have to remember when you're bringing on a vendor, they can be as much as part of the team as they're able to be, but you have to be realistic at the same time.
Right.
Anyway, that's different. But yeah, all that being said, hiring a marketing manager, it is a good idea, but it has to make sense. And you have to adjust your expectations.
They can't do
everything. You have to, I would say at the end of the day, if you plan to hire a marketing manager to replace whatever you're doing right now, you need to also have budget for vendors to help that person succeed. Because they're going to fail and you're going to fire them and you're going to be like, well, I don't know what I just did. And so you have to.
They could fail.
They could fail.
We don't want to speak totally negative on that.
But generally speaking, it's hard for them to be super successful and all the things you need them to be successful in. But if you can allow for it, allow them to bring on people, and maybe more internal team members at the end of the day, or it could be vendors. It doesn't matter. But either way, a single person handling every, because that's the thing too. Do you have a single person that handles every bit of your billing? Not necessarily, right? Do you have a single person that handles every single bit of the doctor itself? You're probably, it's not just one staff member at an urgent care, right? That would be rough. The doctor sitting there.
The solution is to get somebody well, but it takes a team of people to get there.
Yep, it really does. You
need a nurse to draw blood.
You need layers, right? Everybody, you go think yourself around. You're urgent care or an urgent care in general. You walk in, there's at least 3 to 5 people you're going to interact with. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a brand new urgent care right off the gate. You're not checking in and checking out with the doctor. It's also checking you.
Right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. So no matter what it is, it's going to take a team of people to be successful in any given area. The specialist is going to be specialized, but the team is going to be able to come together as a whole and move you forward.
Yep.
That being said, I hope this has been helpful. I think it almost sounded like a gripe fest. I didn't mean for it to sound that way. What I'm trying to do is we care about this community. We care about the work that you all do. And so we don't want you to get snake oiled into something that isn't real.
Yeah, and that's just the warning to you guys. Like, level your expectations, and then if somebody comes to you and say, "I can do everything," question it.
If you're looking for somebody that can do everything, question yourself.
Yeah, there's something off there.
Yeah, correct. All right. Hey, listen, I hope y'all go out and crush it. The impact that you're making on your communities are huge, and we want to continue to encourage you to do that. Y'all go out and crush it, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye, unicorns.
See ya.